It's Wednesday. And of course you know what Wednesday means. Another rendition of your favorite sports show, The Flex Zone. We're all here. Welcome to The Flex Zone, the only place where you can get your sports how you want it, when you need it. I'm your host, Mikkel Ramos. Please go to and like us on our Facebook page, The Flex Zone. Follow us and comment on Twitter, Periscope, Snapchat, Instagram at The Flex Zone 1. If you have any questions, ideas, or possibly want to be a guest, send us an email to theflexzone1@gmail.com. Tonight's show, none other dedicated to Super Bowl 50.
Super Bowl L.
Super Bowl is turning
Super Bowl
50.
L.
The Super Bowl L. One Roman numeral I might can actually know what it is off the bat because I never.
And
get
that's
the
why
rest of
it's
it.
Super Bowl 5-0.
That's
why it's Super Bowl 5-0.
You hear the people in the background. I'm gonna start with the same crew, your regular crew, the usual suspects in the building. Roger D, Cravante, Byron,
Hello.
Dre,
Hello.
What's up?
and joining us to talk about SB50, a very good friend of mine, another sports chick, Vashti Hurt down in Carolina with the Carolina Blitz. Hello, lady.
Hey, how are you?
Very good. Nice to hear your voice. Another good friend of mine, she's in this building.
Speaking of Carolina.
Charlotte. Hello. Charlotte.
Woo!
You might have you've heard her voice before. I haven't been there. She's done a good job. She took over. And last but not least, not to be forgotten, Mr. Bonta Hill joining us. What time is it over there in California?
Man, it's a nice little 7:14ish, so, I'm sure you guys are up late. I'm over here. I still got about 3 hours till I go to bed, so.
It seems like you could do anything in California. If you ever watch TV and you watch a Laker game, it seemed like y'all done went to the Laker game, had dinner, went to the club, and we over here on the East Coast like, bro, I'm tired.
Sleep.
Hey, I'm not complaining either. I'm going to stay on this because I'm telling you, I don't know how y'all do it. With basketball starting at 7 o'clock, what do y'all do with y'all day? I mean, by the time happy hour's over, y'all passed out drunk. You even watch a game?
Wow, really? We drunk?
I had the audacity to be a Lakers fan, and my mother never let me watch Lakers games, so I had to always turn it down because they didn't come on until 10:30.
Well, you ain't missing nothing this year.
Okay, shots fired.
Hey, we'll leave that alone.
But you are a sports personality in San Francisco. Tell us where they can find you, Bonta.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Bonta Hill, BontaHill. You can find my work at KNBR.com. Here in San Francisco, we're the flagship station of the Warriors. San Francisco Giants, San Francisco 49ers. So we cover all that, plus Stanford and Cal sports. So you can find my work there. You can find me on Facebook at Bonta Hill. I'm all over the place. It's good times out here with the Golden State Warriors. I got the Golden State Warriors and the San Francisco Giants. If you guys want to talk Niners, probably going to hang up on you.
Ooh.
I'm
They might be losing Kaepernick, though.
Before I get into everybody else's social medias in this room here, Vashti, how can the people get in touch with you and tell them about Carolina Blitz?
You can follow me on Twitter at Vashti Hurt, and Carolina Blitz is the site that I am editor-in-chief and founder of, and we cover sports across the Carolinas. So the Panthers, of course, Hornets, and college programs in North and South Carolina.
Wow, that's huge.
Cravante, you started. Everybody, real quickly, how they can reach you on your social medias.
At Crevante Hurd, CREVONTEHURDE. That's Twitter and Facebook. And Instagram is Crevante_H.
Byron?
At BKD_TV.
Drake?
On Twitter, Be More and Show Off. Facebook, Andre Melton. IG, Black American Dream.
Charlotte?
Okay, on Twitter, Sydney's Charm, SYDNEY, Charm, CHARM. And Facebook is just my name, Charlotte Morris.
All right. On Facebook is DeMar's Analyst D. And on the Twitter, Flex on 1.
You can catch me on Facebook at Roger Lee Herring, and you can catch me on Instagram at Herringmore.
You can find me on Snapchat and on Instagram at Mikkel Sade, that's MYKELLSADE, and on Facebook at Mikkel Ramos. Okay. Super Bowl 50. Storylines of Super Bowl 50. I want to talk about some cultural things first. Okay. I want to talk about Carolina. Carolina gearing up for Super Bowl 50. We know this whole culture thing that's going on down there, Vashti. My dad lives in Durham. If you know anything about Durham, it's pretty quiet, but I'm pretty sure it's not quiet down there right now. What has this season meant to the locals in North Carolina?
I mean, it's been jumping in Charlotte all season. We have day parties after every game. The bars are packed full of fans. There's Panther fever. I've been here since college, and I haven't seen it like this. I haven't seen it like this ever. Even when the Panthers went to the Super Bowl in 2004, and I remember it was so long ago, and I was so much younger. I remember it, but I still don't remember the city being as lit as it is right now. We even call it Charlotte, like Charlit. That's what everybody's saying about Charlotte right now. It's been crazy, and it's been great to be here and experience all of it, and just to have fun. You know, there's nothing other than music, which is also unifying. I think sports and music are two of the most unifying things in the world, and it's really brought this community together.
Bonta, I want to ask you, West Coast brother, what are people anticipating down there in San Fran? What kind of show are they expecting to see in the Super Bowl? Are they really, what's the aura down over there as far as getting ready to anticipate this battle?
Well, it's weird. You know, I was at Media Day yesterday, and Media Day is about 45 miles away from San Francisco. Where the game is actually being played is 50 miles away from San Francisco. So there's this big divide. But from what I got, the sense I got was there's a lot of Bronco fans out here. I mean, obviously Denver, Colorado is a lot closer to San Francisco than Carolina is. I think people right now are just happy that there's all these festivities and, you know, the Super Bowl is actually in the Bay Area. I think in terms of the game, people are expecting a defensive struggle, but the consensus I get is Carolina's going to win, and it may be a blowout, which I'm not so sure about. But, you know, it's pro-Denver, and right now it's still early in the week, so it's still starting to build up, but people are out here. Downtown is packed, downtown San Francisco with Super Bowl City. It is flooded with there's all kind of jerseys from every team, but for the most part, I see a lot of Bronco fans, and they're starting to gain some confidence. So it's still building up. It's only Tuesday. I think by Wednesday, Thursday, you'll definitely start to feel the vibe like, okay, the game is almost here.
So they're walking down the street screaming Omaha right now.
Not quite Omaha, but they're out here. They're definitely – I haven't seen too many Carolina Panther fans, man. I'm telling you, I've seen a couple hats, but there's a lot of orange and blue out here.
Notable storylines of Super Bowl 50. The first one, the evident one, the battle of the quarterback, of course. The leader of the new generation of football, as I like to call him, and Mr. Cam Newton versus the legend. We start with Cam, 26, Heisman Trophy winner, collegiate national champion, first overall pick in 2011, undoubtedly, hands down, is taking the MVP this NFL season. Became first rookie quarterback to throw for 400 yards in a game, shattering Mr. Peyton Manning's record by 120 yards. I wanted to see if you remember that one. And on the season, out of 495 attempts for 3,837 yards, 35 touchdowns, kind of unblemished, only 10 interceptions and 5 fumbles. This question goes to my first guest in the room, Charlotte. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you this definition. Classless, as defined in the dictionary. Mm-hmm. It's not showing obvious signs of belonging to a particular social class. Now, taking upon that definition, thinking of Cam Newton, and when we think of Cam Newton, we think of the dabbing and the celebrations and the smiles and the giving little kids footballs. Some may have not appreciated that. Some like it, some don't. Does Cam Newton fit that definition?
Aaron Rodgers, doesn't he dance when he makes a touchdown in end zone?
Yep, sure does.
So I think it's the confidence that he exudes. That's the issue.
Vashti, I have to ask you. I spoke to someone earlier, and they said this is not a African American issue. They try to not make it a race issue. But is it really? Is that the backdrop, period? I
mean, how could it not be a race issue? It is most definitely a race issue. It's the same things that Cam is being criticized for. You have white players who do it and are embraced for it. So of course it's a race issue, and I feel that sometimes people don't want to address what it is head on, and that only makes the issue worse. If it's a race issue, let's call it a race issue, and then let's try to fix it or educate people or whatever needs to be done. But, you know, you have people writing in about him having kids out of wedlock, but nobody talks about Tom Brady and his child out of wedlock, or Matt Leinart and how he left his baby mama while she was still pregnant. Nobody was criticizing those players when that happened. Or, you know, he does the dances and he doesn't have any class. And like Charlotte just said, Aaron Rodgers did the discount double check and then got paid off it with the commercial when he did like the little belt or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, some people don't like to see black quarterbacks revel, or black athletes revel in their success, and they have to be more humble than, let's say their white counterparts. And I don't think that's right, and that's why I think people love Cam, because he doesn't care what people think. He's going to do what he wants to do.
I'm an African-American quarterback that may scare a lot of people because they haven't seen anything that they can compare me to. Such a profound statement made by him. Cravante, I slide to you because when he made this statement, you kind of made it seem like this should have been the statement all of black, well, not really black athletes, but one in particular, because we're from the nation's capital, Robert Griffin III, should have said in making such a statement that solidifies him. Do you believe in that statement, and are you in agreement with him making that?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, Cam Newton is 6'5", 250. He's like the LeBron James of football. We have never seen this guy's athletic ability, his legs, his arm. Like his accuracy has gotten better since he's been into the league, and where it's at now, combined with his legs, like he's killing the rushing game and the passing game, and he's doing it with not the best receiving core. And these guys are 17-1 and possibly may win the Super Bowl this coming Sunday. Like we haven't seen anything like this. And when people don't understand things, they're scared.
So it's kind of irresponsible for them to put all of this weight on him for something that he's just naturally doing.
I mean, it's irresponsible on all types of levels, but this happens every day. It's just that he's on the biggest football stage ever right now, so the responsibility is just at an all-time high.
Bonta, I have to ask you. Richard Sherman got a lot of flack for what he did on TV as far as if he doesn't make that interception, the San Francisco 49ers, Crabtree, they go to the Super Bowl.
Right.
He gets on TV. He shows his emotion.
You really got to bring up this painful memory.
No. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't mean to disrespect you. I love you, my brother. Right on. But I'm only using this because I'm pretty sure. What do we watch football for? We don't watch football to see them hugging and Teletubbies. If you're in Baltimore, you don't watch Ray Lewis to see him go and shake Ben Roethlisberger's hand. Especially if you hate Pittsburgh, you want to see him demoralize him. And if a concussion comes out of it, hey, that's the short end of the stick, right? Mm-hmm. So when Richard Sherman went off like that, he brought the beast to America. He brought what we watch football for, and then he became this monster. Cam Newton, every average American wants to not only be in love with what they do for a living, but be able to project that. He's just living the American life. Why is this kind of being flipped on him? Is it fair?
No, of course it's not fair. And I think what people are saying and what I believe is just people aren't used to that type of culture, that type of swagger, that type of arrogance. People are nervous about that because you're supposed to be jolly old. Like Brian Urlacher last week said, he wished that Cam Newton would just shake people's hand and not even celebrate like Peyton Manning does, which is nothing. No, football is entertainment. It's borderline reality TV. Cam Newton is a kid that is having fun. I read a story today on SB Nation that I thought was really, really good. Before he went to Auburn and won the national championship, he was at Blinn College, junior college in Texas, and I covered a lot of junior college football out here in the Bay Area for quite some time. And he went back to Blinn, Texas, became a leader. The coach, I believe, was Brian Francione. I might have jacked up his first name, but Cam Newton came there and became a leader, became a man, and the teammates, from what this article was stating, they really gravitated towards Cam Newton. He challenged everybody on the team. you look at what Cam Newton did in an NFC championship. He went out there and wore cleats with every one of his teammates' names on. I mean, he's a great teammate. Nobody complains about him. Yeah, they dance. They have fun. That's what they do. Now, when Aaron Rodgers is, pelvic thrusting and Tom Brady is,
yelling
out
at
there
everybody,
letting loose a million F-bombs, it's okay. Oh, he's just passionate. He's just out there. He really wants to win. Well, Cam Newton has a different way of showing his passion. And just, the good old boys, they're just not ready for something like that. And so I don't know how much it has to do with race as it does with culture. People just don't blend in with that culture. They don't know how to the word I'm looking for, they don't know how to blend in with that culture. They don't know how to. I go through it here in the Bay Area where, I was looking at Radio Row, I was looking at Media Day, and there's not a lot of color. There's not a lot of diversity, not just African Americans, but Latinos, Chinese, and I'm looking at Radio Row where there's not a lot of. And so when I work at a radio station, here I am, the only African American here, and I notice that people they don't know how to converse with me. They don't know how to interact with me. They just, it's just a different type of vibe, and that's okay. Why don't you try? And that's what I think is happening with Cam Newton. They don't know how to relate to that type of culture, so they're just going to bash and say, oh, my God, that's just too much. He's doing too much celebrating, blah, blah, blah. That's all it is. I think it's more of a cultural issue than it is a racial issue.
I understand. White people dabbing now.
Yeah, exactly. White people dabbing. Aaron Rodgers is out there, like I said, thrusting, Brady. Gronk. Look at Rob Gronkowski. He goes out there, parties, gets loose, takes his shirt off, goes ham in the club.
And let's not even talk about Johnny Manziel.
And all of a sudden, Gronk is like, oh, man, he's so fun. We would love to hang out with Gronk for a night. Oh, my God. But out there, Cam Newton's out there dabbing with Future and stuff, and it's a problem. Oh, he's hanging with the goons. It's ridiculous. And it's a story about nothing. You know what I mean? It shouldn't even be a story if we're being 100 with it. Like, it shouldn't be a story. Cam Newton just happens to be an African-American quarterback. Doug Williams, back in 1987, broke down these barriers when they weren't ready for the black quarterback, and he went out there and torched the Denver Broncos and John Elway. They still when Michael Vick finally broke through, people still wasn't ready for it. So it's bad that we're still here in 2016 out here calling black quarterbacks arrogant or, oh, they can't read offenses, defenses, or, they're too showboaty. Oh, they're running quarterback. You guys have been watching Cam Newton, man. He's been killing it from the pocket.
Roger.
And he's learned how to read defenses. So I think it's, I'm sorry to run along here, but I think it's more of a cultural thing.
I definitely don't understand it. But I'm Roger D., Byron, Dre. You guys haven't been able to touch on this. What happens? Carolina wins. Now Cam Newton becomes the poster child of this new culture that Bonta spoke about in the actual way of success. Because ultimately, he's handling success the best way he can. This man is articulate. He speaks well. He's not on TV being irresponsible with anything. But they win. What happens now? Do you leave the negativity to the side? Do they finally leave Superman alone? Or here comes more stuff?
I'm like our guys. It's a non-story to me. But I think they still might pick with him at times, but for the most part, he'd be left alone. I mean, what Cam can do Sunday is win the national championship, win the Heisman, win the MVP Saturday. He's going to do that. He could win Super Bowl MVP, and he could win the championship. Who else has done that outside of Joe Montana?
I hope he dabs on national television. Him winning is like when Kevin Garnett first won his ring. Like,
that was classic, right?
I hope he screams into the confetti too. But it's crazy because we just had a coach in David Black that was fired because they didn't emotionally look like they wanted to win or were champions. And these people are actually having fun. Cam is having fun, and it's a problem. Let's turn our eyes to the other side of the ball, shall we? The other quarterback that's in question.
Pepe.
Oh, my God.
Don't you disrespect that man.
I'm being so disrespectful.
Don't you disrespect Peyton Manning.
I got to say Pepe many times as I can.
Peyton Manning, 39 years old, 5-time league MVP, played for the place that Peyton Manning built. Played for the Colts for 14 seasons, 1998 to 2011. The Mount Rushmore family, his family are football legends in their own. I mean, he's the son of Archie Manning and the brother of Mr. Eli Manning, who's beaten Tom twice.
That's right. Got more rings than pay.
Injury-plagued season, as we all know. And out of 331 attempts, 2,249 yards, 9 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. Wow. 1 fumble. Backup QB 2 weeks before the end of the season. Comes back, and guess what? Your boy has one more chance. One Super Bowl win, one Super Bowl MVP, 41 to be exact. But this one right here may be more important than them all. 4th time, but Sunday. How does he close the curtain? Perfect ending for a perfect guy. Will he close the curtain? Will the other side of that curtain include Super Bowl 50 ring?
No.
Nah. I don't see it.
You don't see it.
Oh man, Cam is at an all-time high right now. This is nothing against like
Denver's not shabby now.
It's nothing against Peyton Manning and Denver, but Peyton Manning, this ain't the same Peyton Manning we knew and loved. You know what I'm saying, from the Colts days, and even when he first got to Denver, this is not the same guy. This is a guy who's managing the game and relying on this defense to do well.
And his running game. Well, when he has a running game.
You say manage as if it is a bad thing. Manage just says that you can't be who you were.
No. You know how we define game manager, A.I.E. Alex Smith, those type of quarterbacks who aren't going to win you the game solely on if it's put on them, they're not going to win you the game.
So Byron, Peyton Manning's 39. This should not be that bad of a deal to think. I mean, you're at the tail end of your career. Why not just come in and just be perfect on your end? We're not expecting you to do the insurmountable. Just do what you got to do.
And I think this year, if you look at when Peyton has been talked about, he's played well. You look at the Thursday night game back in September against Kansas City. You look at when he came in relief against the Chargers. And then you look at the games in the playoffs. Pittsburgh and New England, he's done enough, but he has to get help from his receivers. Demarius Thomas, where is he at? Only 6 catches for 56 yards in the playoffs. Number one receiver, you can't have that. You have to show up. And he's going to have a tough test. Josh Norman, offensive line, been a little shaky. He was sacked, I think, 5 times in the AFC Championship game. So they have to protect him. If he's not standing upright, it's going to be a long day.
Bonta, you're out there in San Francisco. I want to ask you, is the aura kind of like if Peyton Manning does not win, are they talking already legacy tarnished?
I don't think the Denver Broncos are a 6-point underdog, last I checked. So they're not expected to win anyway. And the Peyton Manning we watched this season was not very good. So we're not seeing the Peyton Manning that we grew up watching. This is not even the Peyton Manning from 2 years ago. I mean, the guy has, all kind of screws in there just to keep his neck together. And the guy, he's throwing ducks. So I think if Peyton Manning loses, people will be like, you know what, he had a great career. We would have liked to see him go on top, but I don't think it's going to do anything to damage his legacy. Just getting to the Super Bowl, I think, maybe enhanced it a little more. But at the same time, this Denver Broncos defense has been led by the Denver Broncos, they've been led by the defense, and that's really what's carried them. So I think people, they're rooting for Peyton Manning. They like to see him go out on top, but I don't think his legacy is going to get tarnished one bit if he loses this game.
Vashti, this one's for you. If Cam and this Carolina Panthers are picked to win this, and this is an inevitable thing, and his legacy and Peyton's legacy is not tarnished, does then Cam Newton become the villain because he took it away from the legend?
I don't think he's already the villain in some people's eyes, but I think that, no, I don't think he becomes a villain. I think that when you play sports, it's a competition and it's competitive, and we all know that Cam Newton is a very competitive athlete, and so you can't just expect someone to lay down and not give their best. And if Cam Newton and the Panthers win, based on their record, they should and they may, then you just got to give props where props are due. It's not going to diminish, like he just said, it's not going to diminish Peyton Manning's career at all. I mean, Peyton Manning is one of the best to ever do it. And so, whether he wins the Super Bowl or not, that's not going to take away from any of his records, any of his contribution to the game. It's just, it's just an L.
Some are saying that, Cam has time. Why not let the legend get it? He's just one more.
That's
Cam
absurd.
Can do it again.
That's absurd. That's absolutely absurd.
You don't have that many
absolutely
chances.
Absurd. You don't know how long you have. Right. You don't know how long you got. Cam Newton may never go to the Super Bowl again.
I know.
You don't know that.
And it's unfair.
Right. That's not fair for them to say just because he's I believe 13 years younger, that he has time. No, that's not granted to nobody.
Right. Look at
you get it. You get it when you get it.
That's like that saying, Charlotte. That's like that saying when people are young. That's like that saying, people saying, well, I hate when older people say, oh, you got time. You just a baby. I'm 27. 28 may not be promised tomorrow, God willing. But you know what he will be a villain in? Them Cleopatra pants. What the heck was that?
Oh, goodness.
What was that?
It was a fashion statement.
Call the fashion police. I mean, granted, only he could pull it off.
Hey, man.
But come on, bro.
No. I was not happy.
You wasn't feeling Cleopatra?
Hey, man.
Do you remember the time?
He did something I couldn't do, so I can't be mad at him.
At least
with the gold in the front of the shoe. Vashti, I saw you tweet that. You wasn't feeling the pants? The shoes?
You know what? Honestly, I'm not even mad at him because, yeah, he wore Versace leggings, but you better believe that was a calculated move. Cam Newton has the nation dabbing, and he has now the nation, like, those pants are now sold out. You can't even get them anymore. He knew that all the cameras were going to be on him, and he made a statement without even saying anything.
It's crazy.
You better believe he did that on purpose. And as far as from a marketing standpoint and from a branding standpoint, round of applause to Cam Newton.
Bonta, who's the most fearless in fashion athletics? Do we go for Russell Westbrook or Cam Newton?
Man, you better throw Dwayne Wade in any.
Oh, yeah, Dwayne Wade too.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade.
I see Dwayne Wade walking around like it's flooding in Miami or
right.
something.
Nah, man.
I can't be. I don't know where this comes. Whoever, all these dudes wearing pants that come down to their knees. I don't know,
long
man.
shorts
I guess
on.
You're a millionaire. I guess you can get away with things
when
like
you got
that.
Gabrielle Union, you can wear whatever the hell you want.
I'm gonna still give that. Yeah, right. I'm gonna still give a nod to Russell Westbrook because we haven't seen Cam do it for that long. We've seen 4 years of Russell Westbrook to swear.
And it's evolved.
Just being.
You seen the Mountain Dew commercial? And he goes to the Mountain Dew.
And he probably thought he was the flyest thing in that commercial.
He did look good
man.
though, man.
Hey man,
you can't front on it.
Hey man, I seen him wear polka dotted shirts and glasses with no lenses in them. Man, I just you got it.
What kind of cartoon and Crayola box are you on?
Hey man, when you got it like that, you got it like that. Obviously.
Anyways,
I don't know about that. I can't do it. I don't know what Cam was doing. Like them things look like if he would have like stretched his leg the wrong way, it seemed like those pants would have came apart.
Split
seams.
And that would have been a new fashion statement. Bam, right there. Something else to sell.
We're going to take a break, but coming back off this break, I'm going to leave you with this question. The best defense versus the best offense. Then we talk about other black notable quarterbacks, and we get your Super Bowl picks. This is the Flex Zone. We'll be right back. And we're back. Of course you went nowhere, because where would you go? You love us too much. This is the Flex Zone. And we're still talking Super Bowl, but joining us for this conversation, none other than Ralph. Hi, my friend. We got to hear those Vegas odds from you.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on, Ralph?
Having me on the show.
What's up, man?
What's up?
Okay.
Nothing.
Now, before I left, we were talking about another storyline of Super Bowl 50. The best defense versus the best offense. Panthers have the top scoring offense, as we all know. 500 total points regular season, 31.3 points per game. Broncos, they're the number one defense in the league, holding opponents to a record low 283.1 total yards per game. However, people are talking about this matchup, but let's face it, the Panthers' D isn't that shabby neither. And while the Broncos may have a little bit more of an edge, when it comes to this whole touchdown ratio, which really was what stood out for me, 21-19. So Keely and the boys are not only catching these interceptions, but they're going in for 7. They're going in the house. Why are people sleeping on this Panthers defense, paying so much attention to what Cam and the boys can do in the offense?
I just think people are sleeping on Carolina's defense just because of their offense has been doing most of the talking throughout the season. And usually when you have a team that has a good defense and a good offense usually going to shadow that, especially with Cam Newton, who's going to be the MVP. That takes a lot away from the defense and the focus on the defense. It's pretty much all about Cam Newton, unless Cam Newton was going to play safety or middle linebacker, that maybe we'll talk a little bit more about the Carolina defense than the offense. It's the matchup, and it's mostly the media. You can't have defense versus defense. They ain't going to sell viewership and sponsors. You have to have Cam Newton's offense versus Denver Broncos defense. So I think the media has a lot to do with it as well.
Vashti, this Carolina defense, something not to play with.
I'm sorry. I agree. I think I heard. It was hard for me to hear what the other gentleman was saying, but when you have Newton on offense and he's now become, basically the face of the NFL, and that offense is what I think they're the number one offense in the league. Yeah, they may overshadow the defense, but that defense has contributed significantly to what Carolina has been able to do this season. Without that defense, without the turnovers that they've been able to do, without the way that they've been able to stop the runs, then Carolina doesn't win. And I think that on Sunday, it won't be the offense that wins the championship. It'll be the defense. Whichever team plays better defensively, that will be the Super Bowl decider. Defense wins championships, and that holds true. So, yeah, and I don't think the defense, I don't think they mind that, Carolina, Cam Newton and the offense, that they're getting their shine on, because you got to look at the history of this team. The defense has always been the star of Carolina. Carolina's never had a potent offense. Even back when they went to the Super Bowl, it was Jake Delhomme, and, it was Jake Delhomme. You had guys on defense. You had Julius Peppers, and you had, that defense that was a great defense. So it's about time for the Panthers offense to do something and shine a little bit.
Bonta, I want to ask you. Now, we talked about this Carolina defense. Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware in that whole twister of a move is nothing to not be afraid of neither. Now, if say they get to Cam Newton and they stop him from being a pocket passer. This man can run. So pick your poison. What poison do you think they're going to decide to pick?
I think they'll take their chances with Cam Newton in the pocket, because I believe this Denver defense will have the ability to collapse the pocket. They also have Akeem Talib and T.J. Ward, Chris Harris Jr. back there in the secondary, and they're no slouches either. They'll get physical. They'll hit you. They're a confident bunch. They've been number one all year long. Denver wouldn't be in the Super Bowl without this defense. Now, with that said, Denver hasn't played. You look at their two games on the road to the Super Bowl. They beat Pittsburgh. They beat New England. Now, those were two offenses that like to come out, run 4 or 5 wide receiver sets, and pass the ball all day. There was no threat of a running game whatsoever. So Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware, Derek Wolfe, they were able to pin their ears back and just go rush the quarterback. Now, they're going to have to be wary of the running game. Carolina has, I believe, 32 straight games running for at least 100-plus yards on the ground. And Jonathan Stewart is first in the league in yards after contact. He does not go down easy. And then you got Cam Newton, of course, who's 6'5", 280, and can run like a deer. So they will have to pick their poison, and I think they're going to just try to let Cam Newton beat them from the pocket. Denver has defensively shown, and they've been prone to letting quarterbacks get out of the pocket and run on them. I believe they're one of the worst teams in the league when it comes to holding mobile quarterbacks on the ground. But they're going to have to pick their poison with the, obviously, like you said, and I think they're going to let Cam Newton beat you from the pocket, because I think they trust their secondary. You got Talib, like I said, and Harris Jr. and T.J. Ward. They can guard. They can play some pass defense. So if they let Cam Newton get out the pocket, it's going to be a long night.
Anybody could take this. Offensive line-wise, they say Cam Newton got time to do anything back there. Tie his shoes, clip his toenails.
Call his mama.
How effective is that offensive line? I mean, the Patriots had the offensive line depleted. They had 31 different line changes that whole year. Big Ben in that group wasn't really effective in protecting Ben. Are they the true winners in this whole thing? I mean, if we're talking about pass rushing, granted we have this running game in Carolina, but when we talk about this pass rush, they can really make a significant change in this as well.
Well, I tell you, he won't have all that time to do all those things that you said.
Okay.
When he dropped back to pass, he needs to be on the lookout, because these guys, I feel like these guys can collapse the pocket. but it's their best bet to have Wolf. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what the injury situation is with Wolf, but as long as Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, and if Wolf can get in there, because Wolf is a good push up the middle. You know what I'm saying? And with any quarter, it doesn't matter if you're mobile or not. You get pushed in your face, that causes problems. So, I mean, that's their best bet. Definitely keep them inside the pocket.
Carolina's been known to, especially in the postseason, take the ball and just straight out the gate. It's 17 zip, and it's not even the end of the first quarter yet. This is not going to be that.
I hope not.
I hope so.
I hope not, because 2 years ago was a waste of time.
That was a great game. What
It wasn't. Stop, guys. Please, y'all, be real. Stop.
Last year was
stop.
a good game.
No, last year was a good game.
Yes, but
2 years ago, stop.
I love Hammer dancing all over Denver. That was great.
No, but
that was horrible.
But the thing is, you never want to see that in a championship game.
Oh, man, not the last game of the season. Like, this is what we have.
Somebody
and then we
put
got
on
the rest of the
Beyonce,
summer.
please.
We have the rest of the summer, and this is the last game. Come on now. Stop.
Hey, everybody likes Super Bowl 35, right?
I mean, thank God for basketball on Saturdays now. We kind of got, I mean, that helps out a lot.
It helps.
Saturday
It helps,
prime
but I don't want that to be the last football game. That's a bad taste in my mouth, and I got to live with that all summer until September.
That's why they should have kept the Pro Bowl last.
Well, that's even worse.
That's even worse.
That's even worse.
And nobody's really going to play in that.
worse.
I'm just getting a paid vacation at this point, just being white. Is there anything that we're not, and this is up for grabs, is there anything that we're not paying attention to in the Super Bowl?
Special teams.
Yep.
Ted King Jr., we haven't had a punt ever in the Super Bowl. He might get one Sunday.
Go ahead, Vashti.
I think experience is one thing. Outside of, and y'all mentioned offensive line, I think that they're going to be the X factor for the Panthers. But experience, these guys on Carolina's team have not been there.
Except for Michael Orr.
Except for, I mean, and he's not really.
True.
Michael Orr's been there, but
And the
Jared Allen.
backup tight end. The backup
Jared
tight end's been there too, by the
Dixon.
way.
Jared Allen hasn't been there, but he's a veteran in his own right?
Yeah, you have two former
we
Ravens
have
that's been there.
veterans,
That's true.
But the Super Bowl to me is another animal, and there's a big difference in having, you know, a Peyton Manning who has been there and done that to settle your guys come Super Bowl Sunday and let them know what they can expect, as opposed to on the other end in Carolina, they don't really have anybody who has been there and done that and could kind of, you know, get the guys level-headed and ready to play and not distracted by all the pomp and circumstance. So that's one thing I don't hear a lot of people talking about.
They got some criticism, Carolina, for kind of sort of taking the gas pedal off. They took the gas pedal off in the game in Seattle, and Seattle came back a little bit. I mean, granted, they didn't have enough to fully win it all, but you saw them in the Arizona game finish it out. They played 4 quarters. Well, they get in this Super Bowl, and you can't get in the Super Bowl and become complacent, especially playing that defense. They're going to have to play all 4. Will we see a dedicated Carolina Panthers team to finishing it off?
We're going to see the Carolina Panthers similar to the NFC Championship game, where they're going to play a complete game, especially with Cam Newton leading, and he knows that this is it, because like Cavante said earlier, they may not get another shot at this again. You really can't take for granted being in the Super Bowl. So Cam Newton, I think he's going to go
So are you
lights
saying,
out.
is it going to be a blowout or no blowout? I don't think it's going to be a
It's
blowout.
going to be a close game, but I do think that Carolina's going to start pulling away when it comes to the fourth quarter, because Cam Newton just has this look on his eyes when it's money time. He knows what it is.
Well, you did see his E60 interview, right, with Kerry Champion?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see it?
No.
I caught that.
What he said was he wants to be known as the best quarterback that has ever played the game. It starts this Sunday.
He can, with all them Rockets, he can.
Ron Rivera doesn't also want to go about anyway either. Let's talk about this coaching matchup. Ralph, Ron Rivera, Kubiak. What are we looking at?
For me, it's just plain and simple. I mean, Ron Rivera was probably one of the best teams in NFL history, the '85 Bears. I think that's huge to have him in the locker room this Sunday for Super Bowl. And not to disagree with what you guys have been talking about earlier, but don't forget the Dog has won 7 of the last 8 Super Bowls, and no one's talking about that. Everyone just thinks it's going to be a cakewalk for Carolina, but everyone thought New England was going to be a cakewalk. Everyone thought San Francisco, when you guys' Ravens won, Ravens were +4 underdogs.
Right.
So you have to keep an eye on that. I mean, everyone knows it's pretty much Peyton Manning's last hurrah. So the Dog has always barked since the in 7 out of the last 8 years. So I'm not saying that Denver's going to win or Carolina's going to blow them out, but you got to keep an eye out for that because, like I said, numbers don't lie on all that. But again, for Ron Rivera, I think he's probably the big key for the coach. Just because what I've heard them say the whole year, the whole locker room, he's pretty much preaching about that 85 team. I think that's why the defense played a lot better this year than last year. I know he brought in a lot of old 85 Bears this summer to talk to the defense about what it takes to be a champion, night in, night out, taking no plays off, everyone playing. That's why I think their second string is pretty much as good as their first string when they switch out. Their second team can probably start for a lot of these other NFL teams. So I give a huge edge to Ron Rivera.
Anybody else on the coaches?
I mean, you got to give Kubiak a little credit. I know he was a backup in Denver for a couple of years in them Super Bowls. He knows the atmosphere, too, a little bit. You have John Elway in the back. Of course, Peyton Manning also, he knows how it is to be there. I think both sides got enough experience. Like we said, Carolina got 2 former Ravens that was there. I mean, I think both sides will be fine on that end.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I mean, Gary Kubiak obviously has been in the league for a long time, backed up Elway for a long time, and he has Wade Phillips, who's been in the league a long time. Yeah, this is the Super Bowl. And on the other side, you have Ron Rivera, who is obviously on the 85 Bears, and Michael Orr is there, too. There's a lot of experience on both sides. I don't think it'll be a big-time factor, but it is kind of fresh to me that there isn't a lot of guys on both sides who has played in this game. So I think we're going to get a total maximum effort from both sides of the ball. Like both these teams really want it. Obviously, Denver wants to win it for Peyton and DeMarcus Ware. Let's not forget, and obviously Cam and Ted Ginn Jr. and Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis, who I don't think we even talked about playing with a broken arm.
Right.
I mean,
A lot of heart.
That is crazy, man. That just shows how much he wants this Super Bowl. So I don't think experience will be a factor in this game at all.
Like I say, you don't know when you're going to get back.
It's kind of refreshing.
I don't know about that.
This game is kind of refreshing if you look at it.
Yeah.
Should be a good one.
I mean, we got the new kid on the block, and then we got the old vet.
Pay against Cam.
Oh my gosh.
Pay against Cam.
This is really a passing of the torch type of game right here.
This is like
Could be.
a big passing the torch. Look, you see that age difference, bruh.
This is the biggest age difference ever between quarterbacks. Right.
That's like when you playing your older brother. You have any?
Yes.
Come on, say.
Oh my gosh.
Fun facts, please. For those that don't know, he gives his own personal fun facts. Well, every show. So you have information for us, please. Give us the tell.
Well, Peyton Manning is the only quarterback in NFL history to lead multiple franchises to multiple Super Bowls.
Omaha.
And this is actually a pretty funny one. The Denver Broncos have gone to 7 Super Bowls with quarterbacks drafted by the Colts.
Wow.
That is funny. Wow.
Right.
John Elway was the first.
Wow.
John surely wasn't he?
No, it was another quarterback.
The Colts either, which is funny.
Shoot, they might want him back now. Look at the Colts now. Somebody Super Bowl picks in here.
I guess Denver should just wait for the Colts.
Hey, I had Devin in the AFC Championship game, so I'm not shocked there.
I was going to just say, I think it's really shocking though that Denver actually got to this point. And when you see when you see the story of what happened with Peyton Manning being, Peyton Manning didn't come out as strong as Peyton Manning used to be. Then he was a backup to make it to the AFC Championship game. Now they're here at the Super Bowl. It's a great story.
I mean, and that's crazy because they was riding Peyton off before the season was even over.
Can you blame them?
Yeah, they were saying Brock
hey,
was the
listen,
future.
You ain't taking that chance. Brock wasn't even 2 quarters, not a half a quarter into that game against San Diego. Man, bitch, I'm not having this Hall of Fame on here and we lose like this.
No, you can't.
I'm not taking that shot.
Take that chance. No, you can't take that chance.
That's ready to win.
Right, you can't take that chance.
What if we see him play devil's advocate here? What if we see a rejuvenated, hypothetically speaking, Peyton Manning? What if we see an offense that looks like something more than we thought we would see?
Then it's going to be a blowout the other way.
No, I'm going to.
And then also,
hey, he's been denying it all week, but I think he's going to be, using that HGH maybe.
Oh, come on.
And you see, Al Jazeera is
that's
gone.
Devil's advocate again.
Gone. There is nothing that's going to tarnish this record. I agree with Stephen A. Smith, man. Cam Newton better not get a parking ticket this week.
We ever got one Bronco in trouble out here.
He shouldn't be driving anyway.
Yeah.
Cam should be driving nobody's
Let
car
them drive
anyway.
you around, no planes.
Nobody's driving you anywhere.
But I mean, it's funny that you say that because Cam Newton could be really looked at the villain in this game.
He is the villain. He is the villain.
looked at
He's
as the
absolutely
villain.
the villain.
I mean,
We already don't like
to
you
me-
because you're doing that hippity hoppity.
Well,
Shout out to my
Daddy.
grandmother.
well, it went from I think him being the total villain to kind of it's split now.
I don't think he's the villain though. I don't see it that.
Well,
I
it's
think
because-
people are exaggerating that he's the villain.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's a little pumped up. But anybody that
media
does a
is making him the
celebration or
media
something is
the
always
villain.
messed up.
Right, the media.
Would you say, Ralph? Or was that Bonta?
The media is making him a villain, not
Exactly.
not the fans, not the public, not us, not Joe Schmo watching the Super Bowl, pounding down the subway while watching it. It's the media that's making him what he is and what he's betraying of.
Now, before we get into these Vegas odds and before we get these picks, when Sunday happens, football is over.
Gosh.
You have the draft, and then you have the dog days of summer. We got basketball.
The dog days of sports.
You got
And
free
the-
agency too now.
You got free agency. I mean,
Well,
technically speaking, there's not going to be nothing on the field to watch. Can we take a futuristic look on? And I'm going to give this to our guest on the phone now, Bonta and Vashti. Either Ralph, either one of you guys can chime in. What are you looking forward to next year? Is there any crystal balls we can see in any other teams that are going to be emerging, any other teams that really need to get it together? Johnny Manziel, sit down. My personal
Oh, he has a lot of time to sit down
vendetta
now.
Foosball about to get cut.
out there.
No, he is cut. It
But
broke.
you got to wait till March though.
Hey, man, he's on his way out.
yeah.
Already said. But Hugh Jackson said that coming in too.
Give
like,
Kirk Cousins his
we out.
money. Anybody, Vashti? Anybody on the phone?
I don't know about that one.
The Kirk Cousins. I want to give Kirk Cousins that money. Go
Show him
ahead.
the money, brother.
You're going to set your franchise back.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. I
Thank
said the
you.
same thing, man.
Give him money, quality of who he, of
For
what he's
all
done.
that, for all that, tag him because the quarterback market is inflated anyway.
Thank you.
So
That's the problem.
So you might as well just franchise tag him. Let him prove it one more time
more
because
year. Yeah,
I can't. That's too small of a sample size for me. And me being the DC guy.
We need
We've
a full
seen one
season
hit
in
wonders.
DC. We
We've
need a
seen
full
one hit
season.
wonders. So I need another season,
Or-
and
Girl,
you
then
know
then
it,
I'll do
girl,
it.
you
Or
know, it's
y'all
like a-
overpay.
It's like a Milli
But no,
Vanilli
we haven't
CD
done it in
over
a
and
while.
over and
Haven't
over
done it in a
again.
while because Daniel Snyder's finally taking the back seat, which I'm loving. Just signed the
But-
paychecks, and
but-
we got Scott McLuhan.
Scott McLuhan,
So
do
we
your
good.
thing.
We good.
But the
good.
thing is, though, with Kirk Cousins, you could fall into that trap of overpaying for a guy.
Come on, man,
again.
the
It's
dead
not
clock
overpaying if
clocks
that's what the
and
market is for it. If that's what the market is, we're not overpaying.
I'm not. Me personally, I do not want to see DC turn into an old Milli Vanilli track. It's
Oh,
the
God.
same
Seen
thing
that back in
over
the
and
day.
over
Seen
and
that
over.
back in the day.
But back to our guest. Anything you're looking forward to next season? Any big surprises? Anybody we should be on the lookout? Vashti, then Bonta, or whoever.
Absolutely. It's a team. Right.
One at a time.
Honestly,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Ladies first. Ladies first.
y'all are talking about DC. I'm curious to see what happens with RG3. I'm interested to see, where he ends up going.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, I'm. That's what I'm on the lookout for. I want to see where RG3 ends up, what kind of fit that's gonna be, whether he's ever gonna be,
What he once was.
That guy again.
what people thought he would be when the Redskins,
Drafted him.
gave up everything for him. I don't know. So that's what I'm interested in seeing.
Hey, the debt is paid. We good.
We the dog. We done did what we had to do, man. Come on.
He literally left y'all with a note.
How you like that?
Yeah.
Pay Jordan Reed too, please.
Oh man.
Give him some dough. Give him some dough,
Hey
please.
man.
Give
Hey,
him some dough.
no, I'm not paying nobody before I have to. I don't care.
I mean,
care.
one of the best tight ends.
I mean, yo,
in the
he
NFL.
like I said, he's the best tight end in the NFC.
NFC, one of the best tight ends. Bonta,
Yeah. Yeah. No.
my good friend, what are you looking forward to seeing next year? Football is
I'm looking at
over.
a team right across the Bay Bridge, and that's the Oakland Raiders. I got the chance to cover a lot of Oakland Raiders games this year, and they were close. You look at all the losses they had. I thought it was the game of the year when they played Pittsburgh, and they lost that one at the end there, 38-35. They lost to Denver by not even giving up an offensive touchdown. They split with them. They blew a game against Kansas City when Derek Carr threw three fourth-quarter interceptions. This team was on the brink, and they have Amari Cooper with Crabtree coming back. You have a solid quarterback. Latavius Murray, if he could stay healthy. They are a couple players away. Well, Charles Woodson did with that team, the veteran leadership, the experience, the seed he's planted inside the locker room. Look out for the Oakland Raiders next year, man. They are going to be a factor in AFC West. That is a fun team to watch. And I'm saying that as a Niner fan. Like, Raider and Niner fans don't get along. And I got to sit here and watch Chip Kelly and Jed York try to figure out how to bring this franchise.
Good luck with it, man.
Where does the power go?
Not to Chip Kelly. Not to Chip Kelly. I'll tell you that much.
Trent Baalke still has the power. Trent Baalke has the power. However, the 49ers brought in Tom Gamble, who was an architect with Philadelphia. He was with the Eagles for a second. He was with the Niners before Philadelphia. So Trent Baalke is on the hot seat. If he doesn't deliver in this draft and in this free agency period, he's probably going to be gone if the Niners don't improve next year. Now, it's going to be tough because you just look at all the players they lost.
Now, who's going to be our quarterback?
The list is long. And then Kaepernick might be, you don't know what you're going to do at quarterback. Anquan Bolden's a free agent. The Niners aren't going to be relevant, at least not next season. So, a team to watch, especially on the West Coast, is the Oakland Raiders.
Let's talk about that new scene in California. Somebody's going to L.A.
Oh, the L.A. Rams, yeah. People are hyped up about that. And I'm glad they're coming back to L.A., but let's not –
you can't watch the Lakers anymore.
But, the Lakers are trash. Yeah, you're right about that.
And the Clippers, they can't get off a bus without somebody hitting somebody.
Yeah, the Clippers are, they're,
You are the pure Bama of the week, Blake Griffin.
They're a second-round exit waiting to happen. I mean, Doc Rivers, to me, is one of the most overrated coaches in the NBA.
Whoa, we ain't even in basketball yet. Pew, pew, pew. Shots fired.
I do agree with you a little bit about that.
You know what?
The Clippers are overrated as a whole. Last question, and this is over. Might be simple for some. Who wins Super Bowl 50?
Cam.
The Panthers are going to win the Super Bowl because I believe in Cam. I believe in Cam all this year.
You got to finish your job, brother.
He has to finish what he started, and I believe he will finish on Sunday. I'm going with the Panthers.
Unanimous? Can I just say unanimous?
No, it's not. No.
We got a Denver in it?
So.
We have an odd ball?
I think we do.
Go ahead. Come on, D. Let's see if we can get to him.
It ain't me.
Cam?
I tell you, I'm a Cam believer after the way he did in Seattle.
Everybody's looking at me.
Yes, we are.
I feel the Panthers should win. There's no reason why they shouldn't win. However,
you're taking pay.
The Falcons did take them down once this season.
They say Von Miller and Cam Newton, that matchup is something to watch because Von Miller's always gotten the best of them. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, with the defense from Broncos, they might push the O-line back just like the Falcons did. But I'm going to go for the Panthers.
What the heck was that then?
I know, right?
I just had to put my, disclaimer on the end. Just
girl,
in case.
if you going to be the villain, be the villain.
Nah.
Byron, go ahead.
Two quick things. The Broncos are going to struggle because you can't practice for Cam Newton. You can't. He's unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to do.
True.
He's 6'5", 260. You can't practice and prepare for him. So they're going to have a trouble with that. The Panthers' offensive line has been great all year. And this could be the start of a dynasty. Let's not forget Cam Newton's young. Calvin Benjamin will be back next year. Luke Kuechly's still there. Josh Norman will get paid this offseason. Don't be surprised if the Panthers are continually in the mix like Seattle was the past few years.
That'll be interesting. We haven't seen somebody be able to sustain.
I agree.
This has been
Seattle has.
Seattle.
Just mark my words. Just remember who said it first.
That's what it remind me of, Seattle.
Just remember who said it first.
I don't need to ask you because, you already said it.
Cam.
And I hope he does every move. The confetti comes down and he just...
Superman dabbing.
He's going to I told you, Kevin Garnett. He's like,
So if Cam doesn't do it, your face is going to be long, right?
If Cam doesn't.
Wait, this doesn't even include you because you couldn't even make a
I'm just
position.
saying.
You were supposed to be the man, and you couldn't do it.
Here's
so
my
stay on the Carolina side and stay there.
My team didn't go. So
don't be bitter.
Whatever happens.
Don't be bitter. Who is your team, woman?
The Giants. I'm proud.
Oh, brother, Coughlin's gone. It's a new beginning.
So if Eli's brother was to bring home a ring,
that's
on him.
Odell's going to be watching Beyonce perform. I love him, though. Anyway, Dre, you're Cam Newton all the way.
Oh, yeah. We dabbing all the way.
Oh, you switched, huh?
Oh, okay. He definitely...
Listen, man.
It's not official till it's on the flex.
Listen, man. Right. The next generation of football. Go ahead.
You can actually bet how many times he would do the Superman pose and how many times over under 2.5.
It's the over under.
I agree with Marlon Wayans though. It's not like he's in everybody's face about some. Yeah, I got it. I won.
Right.
He's
not nobody.
He's somebody else. I don't understand.
And the kids love them.
Well, this
I think I'm the only one that's probably in America that's hoping Carolina wins by 4, 5, or 6, because I got Carolina -3.5, and I have Denver +6. So if I can land in the middle, I can win both my bets. So I'm hoping for a close game. For me, I think it's going to be a lot closer game with everyone thinking. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I would be shocked if either team hits the 30 mark. I think Carolina is going to struggle on offense with that Denver defense. I think in the fourth quarter we're going to see maybe Carolina kick a field goal to go up by 6 or by 3 or something like that. I just think it's going to be a lot closer game than what I think everyone's talking about. I know Vegas is buried right now in Carolina money. They're in the negative, but they want Carolina to win because their future bets. No one thought Carolina was going to win the Super Bowl this year, so they're in a win-win situation. They could lose this game and still lose the day, but as soon as they put in Carolina won the Super Bowl, they're going to win all that future money because everyone was betting New England. All the other teams, Denver was the heavy bet team. So they're in a win-win situation. I think it's going to be a close game. I have Carolina winning 24-20.
Vashti, I don't want to ask you who you're going for because I already know, but what are you hoping people get to see from Carolina that gets more of a respect factor?
I just want them to play a complete game. I mean, you have to respect a team that only lost one game. It has only lost one game, whether they win the Super Bowl or not. And they've been fueling themselves off of this whole us against the world, nobody respects us type deal all season. And so hopefully, they finally get the respect that they deserve. And I don't remember who said it, but they're right. I mean, you have this team is built around a very young nucleus, and they have an opportunity to be a dominant team in the NFC. So, I want I want this team to continue to be who they are, and be entertaining and be fun loving and continue to win the hearts of America. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I enjoy watching your snaps, so I'm expecting to see a lot of partying from you in the next couple of weeks. Bonta, you're last, my brother.
All right. I'm going to go, I think this is going to be a close game, too.
Who gets the big ring?
A dog fight here. Denver's getting disrespected a bit too much. I do think Peyton, those ducks he likes to throw this year, I mean, those balls seem like they're in the air for 15 seconds. I'm going to go Carolina 24. No, excuse me. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to go Carolina 23, Denver 17.
Ooh, okay. Well, listen, man. Get those wings ready. Make sure you enjoy the halftime show, the commercials. Hopefully GoDaddy has a good one this year. Get those T.O. popcorn ready. Sorry, Bonta, I had to throw it at you.
Wow.
Get
those. I'm hoping y'all win. I don't have no dog in this fight at all. All I have is that crappy stadium that's 50 miles away from San Francisco. I'm not even going to get started with that. So I'm just.
We're definitely going to have you back on. We got some more to talk about. You said Doc Rivers is overrated, man. What?
No.
Soon as we finish with the Super Bowl and we go into basketball, we're telling you.
Totally agree with that saying Doc Rivers overrated. Totally agree.
I agree too.
All I'm standing here. Say aye.
Aye. Mop Rivers.
There's a lot of people out there that's scared to say it. I'm not scared to say it. Doc is overrated.
Amen.
Amen, my brother. Preach.
Again.
So disrespectful.
Mop Rivers.
Well, we're going to put a wrap on this show. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Have fun. Somebody bring me a plate if you got one left over. We'd like to thank our guests, Ralph, Vashti, Charlotte. Thank you very, very much, Bonta. We appreciate you. We want to thank True Sounds for our theme song. Don't forget to like us on our Facebook page. Speaking of stream songs, Big Rings, Drake at the end, Future. That's accommodating.
Isn't that fitting?
For the show. Isn't that
and
fitting?
Future.
And Future. The future of Big Ring. What a song.
At least
anyway,
it's not raging.
Here you go.
Don't
forget to like us on our Facebook page, The Flex Zone. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Periscope, at The Flex Zone 1. If you have any questions, ideas, or possibly want to be a guest, you can always send us an email to theflexzone1@gmail.com. Please come talk to us. We want to see you. We want to hear you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Flex Zone, as well as to our SoundCloud and iTunes. Tonight's show is executively produced by Andre Melton. Our senior producer is Crevante Hurd, and our associate producer is none other than moi. We want to thank you all for listening. And until next time, I'm going to say it like I said every week. I don't care if it doesn't rhyme. It's mine. I'm Mikkel like Kevin McHale, and it's over. We done.
Peace.
Bye, Pay.
We gone. Dad.